Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey.
Mayday.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey.
Mayday.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey.
Mayday.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. One thing is certain, it's gonna be crazy, yo.
Conversational radio TV, just different.
Hey, hey.
They say, hey, hey, ladies and gentlemen. I say, nay, nay. They say, nay, nay. I say, hey, hey again. It is the 10th of June.
I say, May.
You know what I mean?
Listen, I say.
You say.
Say.
I say, nay, nay.
Hey.
For the fey.
I say, ray.
I say, whoa.
Get a tay.
Lay.
Get a may.
Say.
Get a nay.
Day.
Get a shay.
Day. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 10th of June officially. Welcome to Conversational Radio TV, the best digital radio station in the whole world. If you don't know, now you know,
And
baby.
If you don't know, now you know, nigga.
Bona. Brought to you by Gateway Media, Abundant Media, and MSMM. And you know, courtesy of the beautiful pictures that you see, it's Silver back in the house, baby. We got our boy Mark. Can we give him a woo? Woo!
Let me tell you, Mark. So Mark.
You mean the guy that you always call Mike, by the way?
No, not always. So I called him Mike this one time, and that was a big deal. And then after that, I was like, so I'm going to call you Mike from now on. And then the following week, I was like, I'm going to call you Michael. So just now, I was like, I'm going to call you Jordan. No.
Mike Jordan, baby. Mike Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't know how everybody's feeling at home, but here in the studio, the spirit is lively. We're feeling good. It's good to have Muso Matlala back. I mean, last week, he was very
Guys, by the way,
okay.
let me tell you, you know how Tato likes talking about how I had a pool girl, and I was talking, this nigga had land.
My family's land.
It wasn't my pool.
What do you mean?
It wasn't my pool.
Apparently
so it was
that
also
pool,
my family's pool.
No, apparently that invoice.
And our small jarat.
Apparently that invoice, it's like a Muso Matlala.
Nah,
apparently the invoice out in your pool.
That's text. That's text. Nah, actually, this guy trying to tell me this nigga had land. I go to say the man who brings the story says one day bamu TV sa mo jarat niya hai. Bamu TV sa. Shana tata. At the point I go Uganda and he was still in his family's land. This is this nigga. Dog.
Oh my word! Listen, it's not my land. I don't want to confuse people thinking that I've got a lot of land. My family has land.
Listen to that.
Right? That's their land. I'm trying to build my own land. That's why I'm here every single Friday with him, 4 to 6. Listen, guys, I'm probably even the first person that even gets here. Come on, 12 o'clock.
Oh my God.
That's how bad things are. And I'm trying to make a living.
I literally got here before Tato. Like,
for the first time. For the first time.
Tato
Since we started this whole bond.
Reveal the politics of engagement.
Well. It wouldn't be a Friday without Conversational Radio TV. Why do I say so? Because we bring cool people to the studio.
Yeah.
The coolest people that have like...
But we didn't introduce... So I'm chilling here with Mr. Sihume. Like, you didn't do it, dog. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Let's
Thank you, my brother.
Tradition.
Thank you, my brother. Lila la me ke Sihume Tato Ishmael Molamu. Musimane wa mo ke no modimo sana. Wa ga mmata wa ga Sihume. O e le gore ke ene wa Khaswane ba re ke ene nonyana e ntshang mashwili bese.
Oh!
Ding.
That was me. It's very easy. It's Musa Maklala, bruh.
Wow.
Tantakhani Mukonu Inchidukolo. You know how it is. Barabakoni, ababusike badidi ka wane badidi ba busa ka mpa.
Alala. I hope our next guest is ready. I hope he's ready, Leno, because we coming out, baby. We coming out all African. Kumbaya. You know what I mean? Bona, you know, some of the Americans, they used to think like when you come down to Africa, you've got like elephants and lions.
Let's just snacks of it.
That's snacks, fella. But I just want to give a big shout out. I see Butternut is up in the mix. We've got Mitso up in the mix who joined in. We've got Kuta La Ku. We've got Gracious. So everybody that is joining, it's going to be a fun, interesting, but also very informative show.
Wow.
Because the guest that we have today, he's done well. He wears different hats. He's been in business for years.
He's literally wearing a different hat today.
He's also even wearing a different hat also today. I mean, Talking about Mr. Mangoba Zungu, CEO of Get Ready Skills, which is an innovative, successful mentorship program focused on unemployment graduates. If you want to check it out, www.getreadyskills.co.za. The program contributes successfully towards the decrease in graduate unemployment rates. I mean, if I went to school for 3 years, gents, can a brother just get an opportunity?
Can I make some
money?
Dog?
Come on.
Can I at least buy some bread?
Can I buy some? Can I get some bread?
At least mama zala. I put on name fana on the office.
Bona.
Come on, right on there. Most of us run a cubicle.
Bona.
I've got my own office.
Thank you. That is Musa Makhala, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro.
Listen, this brother, man, this week, this guy cracked me up. He finished me. Like,
this nigga, guys, let me tell you, this guy. This is the one we have. The manager. I'm like, Marajo, is he? Like, I'm pouring my heart out. I'm like, Joe, when I feel like this guy, on WhatsApp, this nigga, instead of sending laughing emojis, it's a must have a 10, 20 or 30. He sends a voice note of him laughing at me for a minute.
Yeah, I mean.
1 minute.
Get content. It's content. It's content. It's content. Ladies and gentlemen, there are big, real issues happening right now since lockdown.
Yeah.
Right? The economy itself has been hit hard. The unemployment rate has gone up. Gender-based violence has gone up. The skill sets are not balanced.
Yeah.
There's a crisis in leadership in the country.
Yeah.
Everybody is asking themselves, what is going on?
Yeah.
Are we ready? Were we ever ready? We're talking about digitizing. Do we even have the infrastructure to digitize?
Yeah.
Well.
Nah, dog, like we really don't. But let's welcome
Mr. Man.
Japan.
Japan. Japan. Ladies and gentlemen.
Our guest was born in Japan.
Ash.
Born in Japan, so he sort of a Teddy karate kick.
I'm money. Can we have Mangoba Zungu, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know, baby. We've got Mr. Mangoba Zungu in studio with us today. He took time out of his busy schedule. You must know that before we even started Conversational Radio TV, we had to book an appointment with this man last year.
2010.
Oh, yes, it was 2010.
We called this guy like, look, we've got a 10-year long-term plan to have a show. Will you give us an hour of your time,
please,
in 10 years? And he still said, I'll look at my schedule.
Right. So you must know that we are blessed to have this man here, man. He's a hard man to find. But a great guy, highly skilled, dope personality. That's the man right there. You know, it's like when you get yellow bones in business, you just wonder, is he getting business because he's light in complexion?
Or because of Buswini?
Because it's a thing, this thing, guys. Yellow boneness, it's a thing. But, I don't want to take too much. Please introduce yourself to everybody that is watching this live stream right now. Who is Mr. Mangoba Zungu?
So I guess before I get into that, in case there are people on the line that are wondering why Utato said today is the 10th of June, when we discussed this 10 years ago, the date we were supposed to meet on was the 10th of June. So please forgive, in case you think he made a mistake, no, that's where it comes from. Yeah, but he's still got a good memory from 10 years ago. So, yeah.
Aye, man. Stop it. Yes, my brother.
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. I think, for me, before we even get into this conversation, the few minutes that I've been here have been so uplifting.
Yeah.
Because I think, with the times that we are in, to come into a space where there's so much energy and excitement and passion and positivity, certainly lifts my spirits a lot. So I think big ups to you, gents. I think this is super dope. I think sure. I wear many hats. Born in the dusty streets of Umlazi Township, KwaZulu Natal. Grew up in Umlazi. Grew up in KZN. Decided to come and seek for some gold in the big city lights. Egauteng, Josie Maboneng. So I came to Joburg in 2014. And I have been here ever since, an accountant by profession. But I think amongst all the many hats, I mean, people can Google this stuff. I don't really like to talk about kind of qualifications because for me, I see myself as a human being.
Yeah.
And why I say that is because the moment I say I'm an accountant, then people box me. He's boring, he's stingy,
he's a number guy.
He's not creative, he's a numbers guy, and this and that. I prefer to relate to people as human beings. And that's why I love the name of the show. It's Conversational. I love having conversations. And all the businesses that I'm involved in involve me having a conversation, understanding what the problem or the need is, and coming up with the solution. But the underlying thing is a conversation. So I'm a guy who likes having conversations, essentially.
These conversations, ladies and gentlemen, have led to probably this man, finding the girl of his dreams. Because it starts with a conversation. And I think obviously it's important for us to create platforms that obviously have an intention of having contributive conversations that are going to change people's lives. I think a lot of times, we've got radio platforms, we've got TV platforms, but just some of the conversations that we are having aren't economically driven conversations. And then we wonder why we find ourselves in the situation that we find ourselves in today. But one of the hats that I think, just to even get the Get Ready Skills program, how did you start Get Ready Skills? Because you spoke about saw the why.
Let's first inquire, what is Get Ready Skills?
By the way, he must start attorney. That's why
we must start there. We must start there before we start. So, like, if you can just share with our loyal family of Conrad, what is Get Ready Skills program? Get Ready Skills Hamatomo, and then we will follow up with Ntate Sehume's line of questioning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. So Get Ready Skills is a mentorship program, or maybe let me start it this way. My belief is that in the world, talent was distributed evenly. Yeah. However, opportunities were not distributed evenly. So Get Ready Skills is a mentorship program that seeks to distribute opportunities for the unemployed youth. So you've studied, you've graduated, irregardless of qualification, irregardless of where you got your qualification. We believe that you've put in the work, you've achieved, and it's only right that you get the rewards for it. And what we do is that we then mentor you, giving you skills that we know that are required by the workplace. And after we mentor you, we've got plenty of corporate partners listed on the JSE, from SMMEs to big corporates. Depending on your skill sets and your passion, we then place you into those places of employment.
Beautiful.
So we've been running for about 3 years. We have placed about 250 graduates, and if you understand that in South Africa, there's generally a 1:4 ratio. So one graduate is probably feeding, or in a family of 4. So essentially, we've fed about 1,000 individuals. We've raised.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Just a young something, man.
Slow clap. We've raised over 33 million rand in salaries for all these graduates. We've been, identified as one of the most impactful mentorship programs by the president of the country, who flew us down to
Stellenbosch. I saw this on LinkedIn. I'm like, this guy just gets a personal invite. Zwagala da tlhaela mono torobo tsa ka programmer. Yeah.
So look, we've done well. I mean, I think recently on Monday, we were featured on BBC Africa.
Yeah.
And BBC World News prime time in the UK and all over the world. Just recognizing what we're doing, because I think the lack of opportunities one can define as inequality or unemployment or whatever it is. But for me, it's all just a lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's a global phenomenon. So the BBC are quite keen on it. Tato spoke about the World Economic Forum. They have also reached out and nominated me as part of the class of 2021 to be part of the Young Global Leaders World Economic Forum. So, we're streaming on Facebook right now. The founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, is a young global leader. So I think it gives you kind of insights into just how... And for me, the greatest thing from all of this... No offense to my accountant friends. No offense to the lawyer.
If you're going to say no offense, don't do it. Don't do it. Leave it alone.
I'm an accountant myself. But I think for me, this thing has shown me, you can still reach these great heights.
Absolutely.
By lifting other people as you rise.
Absolutely.
By, changing society, by giving back and assisting and empowering people, irrespective of what your qualification is.
Yeah, no, so I thought, look, so it's really not about qualification per se, but I thought you were going to say something along the lines of a qualification is not necessarily, doesn't hold value. Because then my counter argument to you was going to be, as much as your vision and your intentions are so clear and noble, you'd find that there are people, these huge organizations that you just referenced, you'll find that they may not have given you the serious ear that they gave you had you not had those particular qualifications. And I think that's where we need to be very careful. So today, we all know that a formal qualification does not guarantee you anything.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? And for all intents and purposes, a formal education is relevant in regulated industries. Lawyers, like law, like engineering,
finance,
medicine, etc. So, but then one thing I can tell you is that as a VC capitalist myself, is that when two people come to you with the same exact idea, one of them has a university qualification, formal qualification, and the other one doesn't, you will be more inclined to go with this dude. And not because he's got a qualification, because having a qualification speaks to what? Discipline. Because getting that qualification, guys, is more about discipline than your mental aptitude.
I got a different opinion on that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Because when you're studying there, it's not nice to study. It's not nice to be not sleeping. So it brings out certain qualities that the fact that you've got a qualification is like, okay, so this person, you fought it out. You fought it out, you stood there, and it brings out a quality, and on top of the fact that yes, you learned whatever you learned while studying that. But for me personally, that's how I assess.
So Nake assess differently, right? I think discipline is something that is taught, and it can also be taught at home. Right, so if you learn that, like if I remember growing up, stoop, that red stoop, that by itself was teaching me, certain disciplines. What I just realized, what you just spoke to, is that if you want to plug into the system, because the corporate, it's a system. If you want to play in that game, you must know what it has its own rules. And it has some formal qualification demands. It requires that you must have that. If now you are talking about the informal sector, on the other hand, we've seen people, like even Bibi, cash and carry, raking in over 600 million rands. It's a black business. Didn't go to business school to have all that formal, So neither or is wrong.
But wait, sorry, I love this so much. So with discipline. So when you are mopping Scott high, It's not discipline, chief. You
What
know
is
you're
it?
going to get your ass kicked if you don't do it.
But it's a disciplinary measure.
No, the hitting.
Yeah, it's a disciplinary measure. So
Not the.
no, but at the same time, what it's teaching me skills to be responsible. Because now I can clean my own place.
Yes, but
if ever there's no one, I can wash my own dishes. You know what I
clean
mean?
your own place, Tato, but you've hired someone for that. So it's not. It's
No, don't be that
I
guy.
think
We're creating employment and opportunities.
if I understand, I so obviously agree with both sides, right?
yeah.
But maybe just to clarify.
Oh, no, we do this a lot.
the-
We
the
do this a
last
lot.
point.
This is
Yeah.
lovely.
My understanding of the last point, right, is that even in the workplace, right, you will burn the midnight oil to your points, not because you enjoy it,
Yeah.
but because you know if you don't do it, you could get fired
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you won't get your bonus, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So replace the firing or the lack of a bonus
Yeah.
with ukshawa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the same concept.
Yeah.
And I think speaking to that, I've been preaching something that we are about to kind of formalize in the country.
Yeah.
To say because of the rules of the game,
Yeah.
right? If you get some chap, Ohlala Alex,
Yeah.
probably can take these phones of ours, strip them and put them back together in no time and they work perfectly.
Yeah.
He's never gone to school,
Yeah.
right? Or at least never studied whatever IT or whatever gets studied, right? And you get someone that has studied that can't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he can strip the phone but can't put it back together and
knows
no
it
phone that
theoretically.
works,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, the guy from Alex has got the qualification or he's got the competence.
Of course.
But to your point, he's not going to get employed because he doesn't have a certificate.
System.
Or if he wants to start a business and create his own apps and whatever, he's not going to get funding because he doesn't have a qualification.
Yeah.
So why don't we bridge the gap and create a short course that are going to be accredited and recognized by the
Absolutely.
banks
Absolutely.
for 6 months, nyana, just
Yeah.
to teach him the theory and whatever.
Yeah.
And then using that qualification, then he can either get employed or he can then get.
So what about then? So here's the thing. So because formally speaking, even if he goes to a 6-month course,
Yeah.
the guy who doesn't know nothing but has that qualification will technically or theoretically be a front runner. So, and remember last week we spoke about the importance of collaboration.
Yeah.
So going back to
Absolutely.
Get Ready Skills, do you have a program
Yeah.
whereas you put people together where you're like, okay, well now you've got
Yeah.
Me, I know somebody who was trained in your field and needs your expertise, your technical expertise.
Yeah.
They know the theoretical expertise. So if we put you guys together, we register you a company, and then we give you an opportunity to go pitch somewhere. You know what I mean? Like something like that. I think maybe that should, if you're not already doing it as Get Ready Skills, I think because then it benefits 2 people on top of that, and then these 2 guys can learn from each other as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now you're feeding, like something like that. I don't know. I'm just like.
And to the audience, I promise we hadn't spoken about this before, so it's genuinely off the cuff. So we do have that. We started it from an employment perspective, right? So the unemployed graduates come in. I screen them. I understand their strengths and whatever. We've got our tech methodology that does all the screening, and we have mentors. So a lot of our mentors are experienced executives from business schools like Gibbs, where I did my MBA as well. Gibbs, UCT, and wherever. Or people that run businesses, that run their own businesses, right? That have the technical understanding.
Yeah.
Then we match that mentor with this mentee, right?
Yeah.
To guide them to employment.
Yeah.
As the program evolved, we realized Guti, our economy is in shit, right?
Yeah.
We need to start creating our own jobs.
Absolutely.
So the second leg was then those that have entrepreneurial flair.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we're not going to get these guys into employment. We're going to assist these guys to get
Yeah.
funding and
Yeah.
start their own businesses.
Yeah.
So that's where we do exactly what you're saying. We will match them with a VC or we'll match them with another entrepreneur. Within our network, we've got people from the IDC, from NEA, from the DFIs and the banks.
Yeah.
So we know the processes and the loops we need to get through to get these guys funding.
Yeah.
So we, as the mentorship program, do that. We say when I just work on your program, your problem and your solution,
Yeah.
Tina will assist you to get the funding, and off you go. And one of the mentees is employing 10 people today.
Nice.
Umuntu who was unemployed 3 years ago,
Nice.
efuna umsebenzi,
Yeah.
and we said no, when you can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They're employing 10 people today. So that's how we've balanced it.
Now, I've got a question, Mangwa, and I think this is something that has been bothering me for some time. You know, you speak about creating opportunities, right? How do you then measure people's characters? Because what you then find, you know, you find Tsepiso.
Yeah.
Tsepiso tells you that I've got dreams of, you know,
Yeah.
but there's a certain expectation that Tsepiso has.
Yeah.
Right? Tsepiso will tell you that, listen, I studied for 40, 50 years studying, you know, law. Now I have an expectation to earn
Yeah.
100,000 rand,
Yeah.
right? Because of I've earned it, I've earned the midnight oil.
Yeah.
Nobody ever really just wants to work their way up. They just think that everything must be given to you.
Yeah.
Now then also then speaks to the character. Then you know, somebody then gets an opportunity. Then now they start to meet people from, you know, DTI, from Tonton.
Yeah.
Now they give a different personality. Now you are shocked. You're saying, hey, man, we've invested in the wrong horse.
Yeah.
here."
Yeah. Yeah.
What
And-
then do you do?
And I think you're spot on. People invest in people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
They don't
Yeah.
invest. So again, going back to our qualification thing, yeah, the qualification thing helps and whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's
ultimately,
secondary, yeah.
It's the people.
qualification is an extension of the person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But people invest in people.
Yeah.
So when they come in to the program, day one,
Yeah.
hey, siyabashaya, not physically, but we tear them apart.
Yeah.
Because you're coming in with these preconceived ideas. Uguti, I graduated at UCT, so I'm the shit.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting next to a person who graduated for TVET and you think you're better than them. Yo,
Yeah.
we hit that out of them,
Yeah.
right? We humble them, make them aware. Uguti, nonke niyafana. All of you are talented.
Yeah.
All of you have got something in common,
Yeah.
that you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Whether you studied at UCT, Wits, UJ, TVET, college,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okusalayo,
Okusalayo.
fun, no.
Yeah.
Right? So once you are able to get that into them,
Yeah.
right? And I don't blame them, of course,
Yeah.
because we get told, Mtanam, just put your head down, ufunde. Once you graduate, you sorted, right? So I don't blame the unemployed youth
Yeah.
coming in, but I understand that before we can chala the seed,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that the ground is fertile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So we go through a purpose exercise. Right?
Okay.
What's your purpose in life? Why do you exist?
Yeah.
I promise you, there are even executives today that are just going through the motion, that are just chasing money, but they actually don't know what their purpose is in
Yeah.
life. You know, what do they, why do they exist?
They're
you
not
know?
plugged into the system.
They're not plugged into the system. So I
Yeah.
think for me, once we've done that, and gotten them to understand what their purpose is, and gotten them to understand, you know, and humbled them,
Yeah.
then you don't get them saying, I expect 40,000 rand
Yeah.
salary first up, right?
Yeah.
You get them saying, you know what, I now understand, because I need to, they're matched with the mentor as well.
Yeah.
Now they understand the journey that the mentor followed. They're like, oh shit, this guy didn't just end up where he is.
Yeah.
Ha, kanti usebenze kanje.
Yeah.
They'll even take an internship where it's just what is this thing called, job shadowing,
Yeah.
where they're not even getting paid.
Anything.
Yeah.
From umuntu who came into the program expecting to get paid 40,000 rand,
Yeah.
right? And then you find it's those guys that quickly get to that 40,000
Yeah.
or 50,000 a month,
Yeah.
because now they're focusing their energies on the right things.
You know, so I mean, with our academy, you know, we saw different challenges with regards to that kind of like tendency. You know, where people don't want to really work hard for, you know, they believe that because of I've been here, I've touched, you know, hands with the Muso Matlal, I've touched hands, therefore I have arrived.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you don't see my value, let's forget, let's cut this. And I'm like, you know, maybe what you don't understand about building a business is that it takes time, it takes sacrifice, it takes commitment. And it's very easy to judge the leader. Very, very easy. But the Muso doesn't call me. So therefore, I'm not going to do what the Muso said I must do.
We do all the work.
We do all the work.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow, as the business owner, you said, you know what, let's cut this relationship. It's not working for me. It's not growing my business. You're also not growing. Then someone then takes it personal.
Yeah.
Is it something that you guys have ever experienced where you probably had to let go a couple of people? Have they even ever come back and said, hey, man, maybe I made a mistake? You know?
So Mina, I'm strict, right? The program is free. We've got funding. Alan Gray funds the program fully.
Yeah.
Right? The graduates come in, they don't have to pay anything. If you've got issues with transport, we pay, we organize your transport, we give you food, we give you everything.
Yeah.
Right? The only commitment is that you attend every single session.
Yeah.
If you miss a session, you have to inform me beforehand.
Yeah.
And I
What's
need
the
to
reason?
authorize and say, no, I understand there's a death in your family. I understand
Yeah.
you're not going to come.
Yeah.
If you miss a session and I haven't given you authority, you're gone.
It's a wrap.
Right? It's a wrap. And they thought I was joking.
Yeah.
We've had a few of those. And what it does wonders to those in the team that, kanti lo mchita was
Yeah.
serious.
Just keep.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So we've done that. The second one, there was a deal we did with 2 organizations.
Yeah.
One global organization, one smaller organization,
Yeah.
local. Smaller organization is going to pay this graduates 25,000 a month. Large organization is going to pay them 10,000 a month.
Yeah.
I say to them, take the 10,000 rand one.
Refuses.
They're like, "Habo, mangoba." They fought with me. Guess which one they took? The 25K. Then 6 months later, the economy happened. The 25K one has to retrench.
Yeah.
The guys
Last in, first out.
LIFO, yeah, last in, first out. The guys that took the 10,000 rand one, 6 months later, they're going for training in the US.
Yeah, because his cost to companies.
First
not that
time
much.
flying overseas. Now they're playing in the States. Some of them have been retained in the States. Right? And those are the things, our youth and our brothers and sisters need to understand.
They need to learn.
You need to play the long-term game. Instant gratification is not sustainable. The other thing that I want to say, and I'm sure you gents also find this, speaking about sometimes when people that don't understand think we are rude. Ne?
Yes.
I live for empowering people. I could have been much, much wealthier if I was just living for myself.
So
but
when
I
you say
share.
wealthier, that means you're already wealthy. You know when somebody
course.
says wealthier.
Yeah.
I mean, we need the Joe. Let the truth be told, baby. Let the truth be told.
No, but we must celebrate that.
Yeah, we
Singabi
must.
abantu abamnyama we like
must.
to be shy. No,
We must.
kunemali vele.
We must. Nemali boy.
You know what I mean? We must celebrate that, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm there to assist you to get jobs. All of you who are unemployed, I'm there to assist you. But please don't inbox me on LinkedIn. And hi, Mangoba, I'm looking for a job. And at least get to know me, Kala, please.
Yeah.
Just try to build some rapport with me first.
Yeah.
Because I get so many inbox messages. Why will I give you the opportunity versus someone else? It's because I've built a rapport with you. I'm like, or I like your approach.
Yes.
Don't just jump into it.
Remember, that's what Mr. Dami.
Yep.
Mr. Dami said the other time. He said like we had a guest. I'm sure you know him. So he said that look, instead of the problem with us, so as Bodaki, we have survivalistic thinking.
Yes.
Whereas you see a guy, you're like, how can I benefit from
What do
him?
I get from
Give
this?
us a nyogo.
So he said, look, what we need to do is that we need to have a rapport first.
Yeah.
Just ma'auti,
Yeah.
rachila.
Yeah.
We speak first, get
Yeah.
to know each other,
Yeah.
and then whatever arises.
Authentically.
You know
We must court each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's a relationship.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And because like, dude, you get hustled as a person. When people have the slightest perspective for when you're making money, you're making some money.
Yeah.
Chief,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Hey, what's he gonna idea? Hey, you
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. And then that shit is annoying.
Yeah.
That shit is annoying. So in the same vein, just off topic, gents, stop wondering at these girls what with rata. Get to know them first.
Yeah.
Say what's
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you it's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
You know
gents, please stop hitting on girls on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional site.
Eish, it's not
Asenze imali, asenze
Instagram,
business,
man.
asingashelani.
Your camera's there.
Oh yeah. Asingashelani LinkedIn. Guys, asibe professional at LinkedIn, please. Because now when we want to do business,
You
then
try to
now
holla.
people are thinking, this one also wants to holla. Yes,
No, it's absolutely true, man. And I mean, it's so difficult sometimes. You'll generally just send a message on LinkedIn and say, hi, my name is, I'm from company 1234. I'd like to engage you. I see the work that you guys are doing. I think that it's plugged into, And then the lady will just like take my tooth and she's thinking, ish, I hope. Ish, I didn't just shoot my shot here for business. And she's thinking, you are one of those. But also just on that, because I mean, when you were talking even just about qualification, then I thought about the tree which produces paper, right? And it's life. So that paper will either determine whether you got a life or not in the bigger system where you can make real money. Right? But we're growing up in a society of instant gratification. It's like the what do you call them? The Gen X.
Gen X. About
millennials.
Because for them, it's like...
No. We are millennials.
We millennials.
Yeah.
They are Gen
X.
Gen X or Z?
Gen Z. Right?
Gen something.
Gen something. And whereby there's plenty opportunities for young people, right, to take up those opportunities. Yet we are struggling to get these young people to think differently. I mean, I know every single day, even when I started out as an actor, we would rehearse for 12 hours. This was like 1996, and I was still very, very young. When I was talking about that discipline in me was instilled very young. And it helped me in life also to be resilient, in many other opportunities, because I was a survivor for like over 15 years.
With all that land.
No, I said that's my family's land. It's not my land. Yeah. I'm trying to get my own land.
Let me start my own farm on the side of this land.
Ask for some funding.
Okay.
Land.
No.
Land is the security. I need some funding.
Actually, in one of them there is.
You know what I mean? Let's start with the livestock first.
So, what do you say? No, it's fine. So for me personally, I'm very concerned about the current economic status. Also, just from a skills perspective, from an opportunity perspective. I mean, there's only like a few of them Angobas, that are doing get readiness programs. Yet you're finding that there's also an elitist behavior even amongst us as black people, that once we've arrived, we forget about where we've come from. And I'm not sure what needs to happen, because yes, we've been conscientized. Me, I went to Henley Business School, therefore now I just want to play in the space of corporate.
I'm
what?
better than you.
Don't tell me about the township economy. I want to be in Senton. And we had a discussion 2 weeks ago.
Business schools, we compete. Who's ranked number one and what.
Dog, I saw this, and I remember even when I was doing my postgrad last year, enter class, and I remember sitting there. I'm the only one from the creative sector. Everybody, get GM, mama, get GM. Everybody's throwing titles. Now we have to do our ALP work. Must come up with a solution.
Please don't hit us with acronyms. King ALP, Chief.
Action learning
Danke.
program.
Okay, Chief.
We are actioning together.
But some of us are uneducated here.
Oh!
Some of them are just lawyers, right?
Yeah, no, they're just attorneys. I'm just an attorney, right? I'm just a director in my firm. So I'm not really sure what it is that needs to happen to change that mindset, because we have over 40 million black people in this country. The youth unemployment rate is increasing at an alarming rate, right? We now complain that there's gender-based violence, there's crime. What needs to happen? What needs to shift? And specifically for our informed, I won't say educated black people, our informed fellow black brothers and sisters.
It's a loaded question, man. I think you mentioned it. It's a mindset shift, right?
Yeah.
So even for those informed black people, how informed are they really? Because we get brainwashed to think we are informed.
Yeah.
Because I'm a CA, because I'm an attorney, or because I'm a whatever.
Yeah.
Then the title or the qualification implies that I'm informed.
It gives you a God complex, as it were.
Yeah, I don't read. I don't research things. I don't know anything about other than my industry or whatever. I think I'm informed.
Yeah.
So I think firstly we need to be informed.
Yeah.
Truly informed.
Yeah.
We need to read, we need to speak to people, we need to humble ourselves and take the approach I don't know it all.
Yeah.
Right? And seek information.
Yeah.
I don't like the saying, but unfortunately, it's true sometimes. Because if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book,
Yeah.
right? We don't seek information,
You don't have a reading culture.
right? We don't have a reading culture. I can drop stats now. Its unemployment rate is so much. Boom, 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 boom. You'll probably just believe me because you don't know any better, right?
Yeah.
Or even if you don't know, you won't go afterwards and check. Lama stats are show man, but they're really true.
And I'm actually going to retweet you. I'm going to retweet you.
Yeah, without even
checking.
Yeah. Exactly, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing for me is that, again, going back to the human being philosophy,
Yeah.
right? Many of the people who are now top billionaires
Yeah.
were once upon a time looked down upon. Or Michael Jordan and whatever. All these other guys, someone at some point you applied, whether for it's you wanted to get into the first team, whatever, and they deemed you not good enough, etc., etc. And now you are at the top of your game, right? So understand that even if umuntu may look like they are inferior to you today, they've got talents that can make them superior to you tomorrow.
Easily.
Absolutely.
So always approach an individual. Like Nami, I think I'm a nobody, right? But there are people that
You're a wealthy nobody. Let's just.
You must have him. We must ask him for money.
Yeah,
Do you want the money? Do you want the money? You must ask Japan.
But we must court each other first.
yeah.
No, but on that line of thinking, there's no superiors, there's no inferiors, unless we're talking about an organizational structure. When it comes to a social structure, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Because somebody will always know something that you do not know.
Man, you can't know it all. Hey.
That I'm telling you, whoever you meet, it doesn't matter that person has knows something that you do not know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the most important thing
Yeah.
is about being passionate about learning.
Yeah.
And this is why you are where you are.
Yeah.
This is why you are where you are, Tata,
Yeah.
because you're passionate about learning.
Yeah.
That's why we're having a conversation. We want to hear from him. We want to hear his insights.
Yeah.
Learning socially has no hierarchy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because learning, knowledge is knowledge. There is no class of knowledge. And on that point, my brother, absolutely 100%. 100%. There is no inferior, there's no superior when it comes to the social structure.
If this was a corporate comrade meeting, we'll say, Bua Mangoba, Bua.
Speaking about comrades, I actually wanted to mention something. When you posted on LinkedIn
Yeah.
the other day, you had hashtag leadership.
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Right. But I just wanted to mention that that's another thing that we need to truly understand what is
Yes.
leadership.
Yes.
Because our comrades, friends, my leader, my leader.
Chief.
And then everyone
Everybody's
goes
a leader.
around thinking that I'm a leader,
I'm a
not
leader,
really
yeah.
understanding what
The
it is.
responsibility.
So it speaks again to your
Yeah.
question, Uguti. Then some people will then just demand the higher salaries and all the benefits because
Yeah.
I'm a leader,
Yeah.
without understanding what it takes for
Yeah.
one to be referred to as a leader.
I was reading an article, right, in Rwanda that the army has built like 14 bridges. For the genocide, they built, I think, over 14,000 homes.
Kagame.
That by itself, for me, speaks a lot about leadership. You look at the Ghanaian president, right, where then there was COVID. The first thinking he said, and I remember he said, I thought about the fact that 60% of our economy is an informal sector. If we close it down, we
It's
don't
a
track
wrap.
this thing, it's a wrap for a lot of other people. So then in South Africa, it's a different ballgame. We are 107 days in. And there's just so much confusion. There's just like increasing of, and we locked down for close to about 60 days.
Chief 100, we still on lockdown, remember.
Oh yeah,
We're still technically on lockdown.
what level are we in?
Level 3 advanced. It's like iPhone X.
Oh,
It's like
Abana.
S Plus, Galaxy 10.
So it's like that WhatsApp, I forgot what they...
So look, here's the problem. And I think this is what we fell victim to in South Africa, our
Yeah.
leadership. We tend to look at things. We tend to look at
In pockets.
but again from a global perspective.
Yeah.
Not realizing that our context is different.
Different. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
look at things from a global perspective, but
Yeah.
in your own context. So you look at
Yeah,
Sweden, for
yeah.
instance. They never had a lockdown.
Yeah,
You look at
That's a dope
New
country,
Zealand.
by the
New
way, yeah?
Zealand got 3 cases or 7 cases.
Yeah.
Lockdown, 2 months, 1 month, ne?
Yeah.
Which is the two cycles.
Female prime minister.
Yes,
Yeah,
which is the 2 cycles of recovery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 14,
And
yeah.
they got paid 80% of their wages.
Yeah.
And then they got a break on their mortgage payments, etc. They have 0 cases now. They're not letting anybody in. So things like that. So they what they do is that they look at things from a global perspective, but then
They don't
within
they
their
don't
own
Africanize
context,
it.
within-
The-
So
yeah, yeah.
what Ghana did, taking into consideration the informal, that's contextualizing. You know what? That's what we're going to do. Because look at us now. What did we do? Shapa had lockdown. Bah!
Yeah.
Only
I'm just
delay.
thinking. I'm interested to
only
think
to
about
delay.
to understand what was the thinking process. What do you think was the thinking process on your side?
I think before I get to the thinking process, just to leverage off this point, I think for me, the difference between all these companies that countries that you were mentioning, right,
Yeah.
is that the fundamental difference is that in those countries, the majority are in power and the majority own the economy.
Yeah.
In Ghana, the majority
Same thing,
own
yeah.
the economy.
Yeah.
Same
Right?
thing.
So they can make those decisions for the majority of the people. Whereas our majority have the democracy and the power from a democratic side, but we don't have the power on the economy.
You don't have the economic powers.
So already now there's that push and pull thing
Yeah.
between us.
But then that exactly, you're right. But then
Yeah.
and that is exactly what is wrong with our leadership, because that is foolish. Because in as much as ownership of the economy may be in the minority,
yeah.
in truth, creation of the economy is in black hands.
Absolutely.
Whether we like it or not.
Absolutely.
Look, I listen to people that say that colonization brought us infrastructure and all of that, when in fact it is our resources
Absolutely.
and our labor that brought
built-
this infrastructure.
yeah.
Because had there not been resources here,
Yeah.
was there going to be money to build
yeah.
such infrastructure?
But
Had there not been so it's
Yeah.
those type of narratives that like we are being held prison to. That no,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and I agree with you 100% there.
I think the problem also is that we've never also recognized African architecture.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that when you talk about infrastructure and building homes, Africans could build huts, right, at the time. The only difference is that it just became stylistic over time. Right? It would be interesting also if you talk about innovation to find out how many black people were actually involved in designing a skyscraper, a car, an aeroplane. But that's also because of we've never preserved our African history. That's why we are having these challenges. Shaka Day, what is it called today? It's erasing our history very, very slowly. Now it's
I don't even know what that is.
when you in September, when you're celebrating and having prize.
Yeah. It's called Shaka Day.
So on that point,
24. But it's a Shaka Day.
Used to be.
used to be Shaka
According
Day.
to who also? Because remember, even Shaka, they gave him a surname, but he was Shaka Zulu. And he didn't have a surname called Zulu, that man.
No, the point I was just driving, it's about the African,
Yeah.
context.
Our
that
stories being told.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we don't
From
have
a-
black leaders.
from a foreign
So that's
narrative.
that's why we are struggling with young people trying to find a face that they can relate to.
Yeah.
That's why for us, even as conversation, it's important to put a black face here.
Absolutely.
And say, Mangnoba, he's worked hard. He didn't
He's
get a
wealthy.
tender.
Yeah.
He's not a tenderpreneur.
Yeah.
Right? But he's been able to understand the system.
Exactly.
He's been able to say, I'm from Umlazi, but I'm not going to make it an excuse not to want to succeed.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of young people are doing that.
So maybe on that, just to take the opportunity, one of our family businesses has created an animation called The Shaka Within. So you can check it out on Instagram.
I was actually going to go there. That's why I was introducing the Shaka conversation.
It's called The Shaka Within because we want to tell our stories.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we want to use our stories as leadership lessons.
Yeah.
Because why so funda Ngoyan van Riebeek and draw leadership lessons from him when we've got our own leadership lessons from our own African
Have
people.
you heard of the Mapungubwe?
Yeah.
You know,
Institute,
Yeah.
things like that.
It's a whole festival going
No,
on.
not the institute. Not
But
the
I think the institute is on the back of
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for instance, people, so the colonialists, and this is something that the University of Pretoria's archaeologists kept a secret for the longest time.
Yeah.
When it was discovered. You
Yeah.
can't discover something that's been there.
Yeah.
But we'll have a chat about that. So they said that gold trade, and this is gold trade with the East. They particularly say with the East, but this is international gold trade.
Yeah.
Whether they say with the East or not.
Yeah.
They dated back to 1,200 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's even before that. It's even before that. where you
3,000
had
actually.
civilization. And when you go up north,
Yeah.
you look at your obviously Kemet, which is Egypt.
Yeah.
Kemet. You look at Mali, Timbuktu.
Yeah.
You look
Egypt
at,
is not in Africa.
you know, like so. It's like
So they think.
you know what I mean? But Egypt, like, you know, things like that, and,
Yeah.
and that's the importance of the black face that's sitting
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So that the importance of telling our stories.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Chief,
Let the lion.
we're gonna learn about what nothing wrong with learning about was
Yeah.
the big callable Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
But you are learning
Yeah.
your history is from an oppressed point of view. This
Yeah.
guy was oppressed and he fought oppression. No,
Yeah.
you need to learn an African history
Yeah.
that was thriving, a
Absolutely.
civilization that was
Yes.
thriving. Because
Yes.
what does that give you? Self-confidence.
Absolutely.
It gives you self-confidence.
Yeah.
Mfana, get out Kwasao. We've got 4 minutes left. Now you spoke about the animation series. I want where can people find it? You spoke about different hats that you also wear in different businesses. I want you just to quickly just take a moment just to speak about all of those businesses, the intention, and how do people also plug in. And you've also said don't just send messages on LinkedIn, but I think it's that moment now.
Yeah. So the animation is called The Shaka Within.
Yeah.
So the website is called theshakawithin.co.za. It is being submitted to global film festivals
Yeah.
all over the world.
Nice, that's dope.
And we're going to now start running the campaign. So if you just follow
Yeah.
The Shaka Within, either on Instagram or the website,
Yeah.
you'll start seeing a lot of material on it.
Beautiful.
The other thing, I'm an executive at a company called Solu Growth.
Yes.
So we provide solutions for growth. They're
What type of
predominantly...
growth?
So there predominantly we look at business processes, we look
Yeah.
at companies, look at
Yeah.
their processes,
Yeah.
re-engineer the process, make it more efficient,
Yeah.
deploy robotics, automation, deploy artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
Internet of Things.
Yeah.
It's a 250 employee business, so decent business.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Offices in Grayston,
Yeah.
Pretoria, and Cape Town. And I also then am a guest lecturer at GIBS,
At GIBS,
Gordon
yeah.
Institute of Business Science.
Yeah.
There I lecture on the strategy and general management elective for the MBAs, but also for all the custom programs that have to
Yeah.
do with graduates and the
Yeah.
youth. I'm also part of the speakers firm, where there's a whole bunch of us that are speakers that can then get booked through the speakers
I
firm.
must
to
join
speak
in.
about,
You must actually don't think he's rude here. I think a lot of people think he's rude. He's just
on
checking messages
social media.
No.
on social media. Yeah.
So I
Oh
think
my God.
Our producer is looking at us with those.
Hey, he's
lovely
wrapping up,
eyes.
man. Huh?
already.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, as maybe just to clarify, the LinkedIn thing, I'm not saying don't inbox me. I'm just saying be clear about your
About what
approach
you want. Yeah.
and be clear about what you want and how, more importantly, how you can add value to the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I also teach persuasion and influence. And in persuasion, you can Google on YouTube the art and science of persuasion. There's a really good video there. But essentially, it speaks about reciprocity.
Yeah.
You must always give first.
Yeah.
If
Before
you invite
you
someone
want.
to your
Yeah.
birthday party,
Yeah.
psychologically,
Care.
they need to invite you to something,
Drinks.
right?
Yeah.
So and the size of the gift doesn't matter. So even if on LinkedIn you send
It's the
someone
gesture.
has
Yeah.
I know Guti, you whatever you in this industry. Let me send you this article that is in the industry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You feel obliged to make time for that person
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they thought about you. So those are the things I was just saying to the youth out there. Just be strategic in how you approach people.
Wrapped it up very nicely, my brother.
does
You
go
wearing
perfect,
you
doesn't it?
wearing beautiful hats, and I think it's important for young people to make sure that they get this podcast, right? Because you spoke about leadership, you spoke about issues of the economy, you spoke about opportunities that young people need to take, you spoke about get ready, skills, and I like the Shaka Within animated story because it's really just put a black face to success.
Yeah.
right? And also understand that, Luena, you are the warrior yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so find it within yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, and understand your true value. Mangoba Zungu, thank you for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
My brother.
That's really dope.
But I'm
Please invite me again.
No, we are going to invite you again, right?
That's too short.
Because that's the thing, and you know, and oh yeah, Mr. Chaka says what's up, by the way.
Hey, Tumza.
choker.
You know?
Choker.
And also here, we also every single week, if also know any young people that want to promote their business, every single
Tell them
week they
to
can send a
plug in.
WhatsApp.
Sure.
We do promote my business, and I think this is going to be a consistent feature.
Great.
You know, because it's time, man. Aslanganene ma chance, asibeng together, asibeng wild, asibeng fantastic, asibeng right. See you at 5 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Follow Mangoba Zungu. Habashwe. Lani, you know what to do, my brother.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, 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 hey. One thing is certain, it's gonna be crazy, yo.
Conversational radio TV, just different.
Hey, hey.